The loud panic that had filled the school just minutes ago suddenly disappeared. Teachers rushed through the hallways, their voices shaking. "Everyone inside! Lock the doors! Stay quiet!" one teacher whispered urgently. Students quickly ran into classrooms. Desks were pushed against doors. Curtains were closed. Lights were turned off. Within seconds, the entire school fell into a deep, terrifying silence. In one classroom, 20 students sat on the floor holding their breath. Some were crying quietly. Others stared at the door with wide, frightened eyes. A teacher stood near the door, gripping a ruler like it was a weapon, even though she knew it wouldn't help much. Then it happened. Thud! A heavy sound echoed from the corridor. Every student froze. Thud! Thud! Slow, heavy, footsteps. Not human footsteps. Something was walking through the hallway. Outside the classroom, a long shadow slowly slid under the door. One boy covered his mouth to stop himself from screaming. The teacher raised her hand, signaling everyone to stay completely silent. The footsteps stopped, right outside the door. For a moment, it felt like time itself had stopped. No one moved. No one breathed. Then suddenly, "Scapi," something sharp dragged across the metal lockers in the hallway. A strange alien growl echoed through the corridor. Inside the classroom, the students looked at each other in pure horror. Whatever was outside was searching for them. But far above the school, inside the alien ship watching everything, one alien commander spoke in a cold voice. "Scan the building." A glowing screen lit up, and the result shocked them. "Commander, something is wrong." According to the scan, there are hundreds of humans hiding inside. The commander slowly smiled. "Good. Let the hunt begin." But what the aliens didn't know yet, the school had never been this quiet before. The lights in the corridors flickered weakly, casting long shadows across the walls. From somewhere far away, the heavy metallic footsteps of the alien echoed through the empty hallways. Inside classroom 12, dozens of students were hiding under desks and behind cupboards. Some were crying softly. Others were praying. Their teacher whispered nervously, "Stay quiet. Don't make a sound." Outside the door, a strange clicking noise echoed. Like claws tapping against the floor, everyone held their breath. Then suddenly, thud, 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 the alien footsteps passed the classroom door. A wave of relief spread through the room, but the fear was still there. That's when one student slowly stood up. His name was Ethan Carter, a quiet student who usually sat at the back of the class. His hands were shaking, but his eyes were focused. The teacher whispered urgently, "Ethan, sit down." "It's not safe." But Ethan shook his head. "If we just hide, they'll find us one by one," he said quietly. "We need a plan." The students looked at him in shock. "A plan against aliens?" Ethan walked to the classroom window and carefully peeked outside into the hallway. The corridor was empty, but strange green lights glowed at the far end. He turned back to the class. "Our school has emergency tunnels under the gym," he whispered. "My brother told me about them. They lead to the parking area behind the forest." The teacher's eyes widened. "You're saying we can escape?" Ethan nodded. "But we must move quietly. If the aliens hear us, it's over." The room filled with nervous whispers. "But how do we get past them?" one girl asked. Ethan pointed at the fire alarm on the wall. "If we trigger the fire alarm, it will create noise everywhere. The aliens will go toward the sound, and we go the opposite way," another student whispered, realizing the idea. The teacher stared at Ethan. "You thought of this? While all this was happening?" Ethan took a deep breath. "I'm scared too," he admitted. "But someone has to try." For a moment, the room was silent. Then, one by one, the students nodded. Fear was still in their eyes. But now something else had appeared. Hope. Ethan slowly walked toward the fire alarm. His hand hovered over the red switch. Outside the hallway, another alien shadow suddenly moved across the wall. Ethan swallowed hard. Then he whispered, "Everyone ready?" Dozens of terrified students nodded. Ethan closed his eyes for a second and pulled the alarm. Whew, whew. The entire school exploded with the sound of sirens. Red emergency lights began flashing everywhere. From the corridors outside, multiple alien screeches suddenly echoed. They had heard it, and they were moving. "Fast," the teacher whispered urgently. "Now everyone follow Ethan." The classroom door slowly opened. The students stepped into the dark corridor. The school corridors were dark and silent. Heavy alien footsteps echoed through the hallway. Thump, thump, thump. Inside the science lab, a group of students and teachers hid behind tables. Everyone was scared, but they knew they couldn't just wait to be captured. "We have to fight back," whispered one teacher. A brave student looked